What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Leguito's Chop Shop, the second best gel blaster channel on the tubes. And today we've got gels. Most importantly is this packet here, which is the Ausgel Ghosts, or Ultras as they are named. I've also got, because somebody mentioned it in one of the comments, I've got a current batch of green Armatex. I've got an OG original batch of Armatex. I've got an OG original pack of Ausgel Milkies and an Armatex Milkies pack as well. What I don't have on the desk here is any of the Alpha King AKAs, but I will have them shortly. Hopefully by the time this video is finished, I will have some. I've been trying to put this video off until I get my pack of AKAs, but I don't know what's going on. They've got coronavirus or something, and they're just not here. So while I'm waiting for them to arrive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a teaspoon of these Ghosts and a teaspoon of the Milkies, and I'll grow them. And I'm going to use clean water, demineralized filtered water, and I'm just going to grow them. I'm just going to do a standard in a bottle grow. I'm just going to chuck them in a bottle, put the demineralized water in there, and just leave it overnight. I'm not going to do a timed grow. I'm not going to do anything fancy or special. I'm just going to, for now, I'm just going to leave them overnight, let them grow, and then we will see how they turn out. And then I might do some different styles of growing later on in the video, because I know particularly with these Ultras I've had better results with different growing techniques, but I'll get to that later. Just for now, let's just take a really close look at some of these dehydrated gels. Okay, so as you can see here, the standard Ausgel Milkies are quite small compared to the Armatex when they're dehydrated. You should be able to see that difference pretty clearly. The Ghosts, again, are a different size. Let's see if I can get... what I'll do is I'll get some of these actually onto the table so we can see better. Alright, so what we can see here, this one here is just a standard LDT red packet Milky. This one is an Armatex Milky. This one is a standard Ausgel Milky. And this one is a Ghost. You can see why I call it Ghost, because it's kind of a translucent colour instead of a milky colour. And there's a noticeable difference in size there if you can't see that. Like this Ghost, let me just get these original Milkies out of the way. The AT is obviously bigger, and the Ghost is bigger again than the AT. So they're already bigger in their dehydrated state. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to note. We'll see what that actually means when it comes to hydration. Well, here we are, and you can see why I call them Ghosts. just because of the translucent colour. You can really see next to the milkies how obviously the milkies are white and these ones aren't very, they're very noticeably different in colour anyway. They're a lot more transparent than white. The milkies are very white. Just got a assortment that I grew, just standard grow. I think I said I was going to grow them overnight, but I ended up growing them. I think for the most part of a day, probably. I don't know. I put them on this morning, and it's now 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So they've been in the water for most of a day. I did do a little time lapse of the gels growing, if that floats your boat. So yeah, now what I'm going to do is crush a few of them to find out how hard they actually are. How hard is hard? I mean, we know that the Armatex were hard. How much harder are the ghosts? Let's check it out. Alright, so I've had to dig out the old Crushertron 4000. Just going to do a couple of the ATs. I'm going to start with the green one. Gosh, that was 2.5. Another green one. .4 that looked like. Another green one. .1 that one was. I'm not breaking any new ground here, this is nothing surprising. I will put the milky on. This is an AT milky, not a standard milky. 3.1. Another milky. 3.0. So 3 kilos, we know this. And just for those of you who have been sleeping, I just got a regular milky here, just a regular old gold packet milky. Actually, this is not a gold packet, this is a red LTD milky, but you know, regular old milky. Look like somewhere between 1.5 and 2. I have to probably do the slow-mo replay on the video for that one, but let's do another one for science. 2.3 that was. So yeah, no surprises. The ATs are harder than the regular milkies. We know this. This is nothing new. Now, what are the ghosts gonna do? Let's find out. This is gonna be interesting because I have a feeling my scale is gonna throw up some E's because I don't think it's gonna be big enough to read the pressure. Yeah, throwing up E's. Alright, so we're over 5 kilos. That was starting to crush. I could feel it starting to crush. I could feel it there it is. It's still roughly in one piece, but I could feel it starting to crush. Somewhere over the 5 kilo mark. So alright, I'm gonna have another crack at the Ausgel Ghost. I'm gonna try and go all in one go, because once I was starting to get to 5 kilos there, I was kind of backing and forthing, and then it wasn't the ball was, I can't do this, my hand on the drill bit. I'm gonna have to do something. Someone commented in last video that I'm gonna cut my fingers on the drill bit, which at this point is probably highly likely, so I'm gonna do something about that. Alright, always remember, safety first. Let's have another go at this. Alright. And we're throwing up E's. Yep. Okay, so I've outdone my scale. The gel didn't crush. There it is. Still in one piece. More than 5 kilos of force the ghosts can take. I'm gonna have to come up with some new way of testing these, because my scale's not good enough. I can't crush them. I mean, I can crush them, but so just so you know, I'll do. How can I do it? I can crush it, but the scale's not going to read it. Let's crush it. There we go. I'm going to crush it, but yeah, the scale's just going to read E's. So there you go. It crushes, but it's somewhere over 5 kilograms of force required to crush that gel. They're hard. They're hard, guys. What can I say? I think I'm gonna have to take a time out on this or something, because I'm gonna have to go back and rethink my strategy on how I'm gonna test these, because they can clearly take more than 5 kilos of force before they break. So I think I'm gonna have to leave it there for this video, guys. Unfortunately, I've outdone my equipment at this point. Hopefully when I come up with a bigger scale, I guess, I'll be able to have some AKAs in my hand as well for testing, because I think the AKAs are kind of in a similar sort of league as the Ausgel Ultras, or Ghosts as I'm calling them. I'm calling them all Ghosts now because they're Ghosts. Yeah, Ghosts, Milkies, Greens. Well, you guys wanted to know if they were harder. Oh, they're harder. They're most definitely harder. Unfortunately, you are going to have to wait until I reset and come back at this from a different angle before you can find out exactly how hard. But please hit the subscribe button, and we're going to get back to this later. And I've also got a newer batch of these ATs as well, because somebody in the comment section told me that their newer stuff's not as good as their older stuff. So this is an OG original first batch of Armatex, because I still have them, and this is the new packet that I got last week. So yeah, shout outs to my man Elhard Von Trapp, because he hooked me up with some parts that I needed when I was in need. So thank you, Mr. Von Trapp, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.